Welcome, Relentless Racing League race fans. Tonight we are taking it to the almost West Coast, taking it all the way down to Phoenix, Arizona, as we are 2 races away from playoffs. As you can see with your points right there, you've got 9 pretty much locked in. Penley with locked in without a win because there's possibly no way he cannot make playoffs. And updated from Isaac, if you're about 47 and above cutoff, you're guaranteed to get in. So you've got 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th that is still up for grab. And with Phoenix being tonight and then Talladega being next week it's anybody's race to try to get in. And he's finally made his way through here through the scorching heat. Tony, glad you made it through. I believe they call it Snake Hill or Copper.
Yeah, Rattlesnake Hill,
Rattlesnake
I think.
Hill
Something like
or
that.
Rattlesnake Curve or something. Man, 2 races for the playoff start. This season has been nothing but I don't know. I don't know the word for it, man.
Yeah, I think tonight's going to be wild. This track is definitely a challenge.
I mean, right now you feel more in practice. They did a pretty good time. Yeah, it was really loud in my ears. I don't know about on the broadcast side, but I think mine are bleeding. But looking through the points, Penley's locked in without a win. Luddy Moore and Vaughn, pretty good shot of being locked in without a win, but man, you've got Cedric, Isaac, Cody, and Joey are all praying that Newbra and Webb's a far shot, but he's still a shot. But Newbra, man, if he can get him a good finish ahead of Cody or Joey, he might can sneak in and take that 16th spot.
Yeah, he could, but unfortunately he requested a drop week tonight, so that's
Oh,
going to make it pretty challenging. They got one more race at Talladega after tonight, so he'd really need a good, a strong showing there to really have a chance.
oh, PBR may not be a number game this season like it was last season going into the round of 16, only having 2 in there right now.
But yeah, that cut line with him missing this race, I think that's really going to open that up a little bit. It's showing, really tight 13 through 17th, but with Newbrow missing the race, that might bring Matt Webb into the picture. But man, this track, anything is possible tonight. You could see people getting wrecked out of the race lap 1. If they take that dog leg, that thing is violent in this car. So you may see people end up just wrecking the car, just going over the bumps, cutting that dog leg.
Especially anybody that pretty much is below the bubble, as long as they've met the requirements, they can get into the playoffs off a win, and that's going to knock one of those 4 that's vying for a position completely out of it.
Yeah, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised here. I think this is going to be, a race of survival. The car is loose. The car in turn 1 and 3, the car just wants to snap sideways on exit. Turn 2 exit, it wants to send you into the outside wall. If you can survive the race, I think you might you'll have a chance to win it at the end.
Real sprints out there, long time no see. Welcome back. Yeah, and you can see right there if Penley hit that dog leg, you can see how that car just jumps going into it. So I mean, if you're 2 or 3 wide going through there, and somebody bounces and you lose control of that car, I mean, it's going to be a race over for you and anybody around you pretty much.
Yeah, and that car gets really, really light just making that transition. So if you're full throttle, I think you'd be fine on fresh tires, but older tires, I mean, just running at full throttle, you could loop that car and send it into the inside wall, take a whole bunch of people with you.
Or even
So
just getting on the track would be a possibility of that.
yeah, it's
You weren't
definitely one
supposed
of
to
those
agree,
races
Tony.
where
Gosh. I know I
It,
suck, but come on.
if it's one of those races where if you can survive to the end and stay in the lead lap, there's definitely a chance to win it.
Well, it's one thing that Bobby always says, due to, I don't know, whatever he's got going on in real life, but he ain't going to be joining us, but patience. And you've got to be at the end to win. So, I mean, like you said, if you get took out in lap one or 149, you ain't there at the end.
Right. And with all of that being said, it if I need points to get into the playoffs, I'm staying away from all those aggressive drivers. Um, if I'm going for a win, or I already have a win and locked in, I might, be a little more aggressive. But man, I don't want to be anywhere close to those aggressive drivers because we're going to see a lot of mistakes tonight.
I mean, what we've got 45 laps is going to set the stage, and you've got those 7 points. So, I mean, you've got all those under the bubble that this could be their race. This could be the one where they get that win. So you could be 40 points out of the bubble or 60 points out of the top 16 and get that win. And well, there you are. You're riding on into the playoffs.
Yeah, I feel like the schedule right now is kind of got back-to-back wild card races, right? Phoenix, I feel like is going to be a wild card. It's going to be about survival, and then we go to Talladega next week, another wild card race where anybody can win at any time. So, I think we might see some conservative runs by those guys close to the bubble because they need to finish the race. If they get a chance for a win, then yeah, but they need to finish the race. They can't take themselves out of it going for the win.
I think this is going to be a 150 laps of white knuckle door banging racing. I mean, a lot is on the line right now. Unless you've got a win or Nathan Penley, you pretty much still got a chance of being knocked out. And I mean, far fetched saying we could have two different winners, and that's going to push it on further down the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that really makes that what 13th or 12th or 13th through 16th really important because you can see they're so close in points. Where if we do get a new winner and it's not one of them, one of those gets dropped down, just like you said. Same with next week. So you want to be at the top of that little battle, that little bubble battle coming out of the race tonight.
And I'm gonna throw it out there, and I'm gonna say tonight, Penley gets his win.
I mean, it's a good track. Didn't look like he really had the speed early on in practice, but he also came into the session later, and this track is going to change as it rubbers up. So he may be faster than what he was showing in practice.
It's like we said, especially when you go to super speedway, we know that's a crap shot. Whoever's going to get in, there's no there's no strategy to that. It's just being in the right place at the right time, and that's not in the big ones where you don't want to be. But like you said, somewhere like Phoenix, man, that dog leg open dude right there that's the spot. You don't want to be there. Stuff goes haywire.
Yeah, I think tonight it's going to be whoever has a clean car um, is going to be in contention. If you got a beat up car, I mean, it's going to be tough. I think like I said, it's going to be a race of survival.
Trading Paints is getting some of them in, but it's not wanting to get all of these in. They're showing up right on the driver details, but the track wise is not working.
You may have to close out your Trading Paints app completely and reopen it. It's been having issues lately.
That update's messed a lot of things up for a lot of people. I've been hearing a whole bunch of broadcasters and racers alike saying they're having skew issues, rendering issues, paging issues, the whole shebang. So Brandon Banks getting on his second lap, see if he can improve from the 18th. He does, up to second. You got Schaefer. Wait towards the end, seeing what he can pull. You know, Schaefer and Banks, they're our only three-peat winners. Schaefer, not the where he's used to start, middle of the pack. That's just about going to wrap it up for qualifying. Bill Moore's going to have the pole. Brandon Banks is going to be on the outside. I will be right back. Word from our sponsors, National Anthem. Then we're going to go racing 150 laps, hopefully all green. Joe, you're not kidding one bit out there. It's going to be a great race. Moore, Banks, Dewsbury, Nixon, Maines, Vaughn, Roswell, Finley, Collier, Riggs, Schaefer, Gordon, Wilson. I know he's looking for a win. Curry, Luty, Hastings, Weston, No Money Hughes, Webb, Hine, Bosworth, and Downey is going to round out your field of 22. Ricky Williams is going to be 23, and Sam Sundstrom is going to round it out in 24th. Who's your pick, Tony? He's taking the odds to figure out his pick. Now back, you're out there. What about you? Who you got for this one? I'm going to put it on Penley. He's right there at it, so.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. You know, I think I'm gonna go with Cedric.
Cedric taking our friends from up north. To be honest with you, I think if he can keep it clean and stay out of shenanigans, I think he may have a shot. But boy, inside line checked up. Vaughn did not go. Schaefer's the first one to put it down to the dog leg. 3 wide.
Already some contact. 33 got in the back of the 7. It's gonna be wild.
Cole Curry is spinning, cuts it back. Oh, takes out Gordon. Wilson barely gets through it. Downey, Weston, Williams, Webb. All wiped out on that one.
Yeah, that was a parking lot there.
That
looked like he just got loose off the corner.
That's what I'm gonna have
Cody
to go
Riggs
with.
just snuck through there. Everybody else back there got caught up in it.
He
A
was
couple of them got on the brakes quick enough to avoid it.
Rowdy came in at the wrong time. You can see right there, Curry gets loose. Isaac gets a little damage, 28. That car just cut back up, and
Yeah, overcorrected. Isaac was very fortunate for that. He was able to sneak through there.
oh
Um,
Lord, look at that, Tony. Do you need any car parts?
I'm sure there's plenty of them laying on the track. Bumpers.
That's almost a red flag. The track's almost completely blocked. 35 down east, is slowly moving through. Ricky Williams. That was well. There's what we talked about, Tony. At
Yeah,
lap
it's
one.
and Isaac Wilson did get some contact in that, but it's on the right rear of the bumper. I don't know if that's gonna be a big deal here or not. I mean, this is a short track. Um, he might be fine.
Yeah, he's got just a little bit damaged back there. I don't think it ain't nothing that can be buffed out.
I'm sure he's gonna just um, work on getting a little bit of damage fixed here and there. But aerodynamics, I don't think are really going to play a huge deal, especially on the back of the car. I think the front end would be where you're going to see a lot of the damage, but that actually might help and might give him a little bit more downforce on that right rear tire and stop him from getting loose on corner exit, or at least help.
3 wide going through there. It was risky. We saw it starting. We saw it started to develop coming out of the dog leg, and tires being cold. I think that's just too risky of a move. 3 wide, not even one lap in, really.
That dog leg definitely makes this track extremely wide. The problem is when you rejoin the track, that track really narrows up. Not a lot of room. Everybody's got to merge without killing each other.
And it goes back to the saying that I've got. They all, you may be a Dale, but you're really a Danica.
And with that being said, right now, two of the two of the drivers that pretty much came to a stop behind where behind that accident, Gatlin Downey and Ricky Williams started 22nd and 25th
Yeah,
and are now running 12th and 13th. So it kind of gives you an idea how many cars got caught up in that.
yeah. You've got Hastings, Hines, Hughes, Ludi, Gordon, Curry, Well. I mean Isaac. Yeah, we won't count him as severe. He's still out on the track.
Hughes actually didn't get caught up on that. He had a pre-race penalty, so he had to start from the pits.
That's a blessing. A blessing in disguise.
I think it helped him.
And,
Stayed away from that wreck, and now he's sitting in the lucky dog spot. So if we get another caution, he'll be able to get back on that lead lap and get back in contention for this thing.
and you know something too, Tony? Right here at the restart zone, when the pace car comes off to where it is, it's so far.
Well, and that's where we're seeing cars really get loose is on the exit of 3. So I think you're really going to have to manage that throttle there, so you don't spin it from the front and wreck the entire field.
45, almost getting into the 7.
Yeah, I saw the 7 was really off the pace, getting into, I believe it was turn 1. Like, he backed it down pretty early, and I saw the 3 come flying by him.
You can just see him right there on the dog leg. It's like you flip the lights on and the roaches scatter. There we go with 3 wide again, back in the back. Isaac, Ricky, William. Ooh, Webb is back out on the track.
And I'll tell you, where I feel like this track gets the narrowest is coming off of turn 2. I think that's going to be where if they're 3 wide, somebody's going to have to lift. Another thing here is if we do get some long green flag runs, these tires are going to wear pretty quick, I feel like. So who's going to be able to manage those tires without losing too much track position?
I think I may have just seen what was Dewsbury's issue. His back bumper is completely gone.
I did see a bumper flying through, laying on the track, get run over a few times. So that might be what we saw there, and that might why we saw him slowing up.
Zick and Riggs both staying out. Riggs is, he's playing conservative.
Well, I feel like this is a Riggs type track, right? He's not the fastest guy, but these aggressive guys are either going to burn up their tires or potentially wreck. So if he can just keep that car clean, he'll have a chance. Starting to see him spread out a little bit up at the front here, so might might help get a little bit of a green flag running here.
Your pick, Cedric, has made it up to fourth. But more comes. I mean, he dropped on the restart back to fifth. Nothing too shabby right now. I mean, we're just now 12 into it. So, I mean, everybody's trying to gauge each other and how their car is going to act. 45 laps is going to give you a pretty good idea.
Well, not only that, right? Maybe he is conserving tire because 45 laps is going to be this car is going to be a handful once we start getting some more laps on these things. If he's being a little conservative with his tires, just running his race, in the long run, it may benefit him, and we may see him climb back up. We just watched Nathan Penley run that really shallow line
Yeah.
through the dog leg. It's something that I tried during practice, and it really the bumps are nowhere near as bad. If you can cut down low early, like we see Penley doing right here, it really keeps the car a little more settled than those guys that are running a, a line a little closer to the actual racing surface. The bumps up there are really aggressive. You'll actually see the front of the car kind of lift up off the ground. But that line that Penley ran is pretty smooth for what it is.
Yeah. SDK is not a fan of it because he flags the pit marker, so it's telling me he's entering the pits every time.
Yeah, it's because they're catching that pit exit line. I was kind of curious if iRacing was gonna kind of flag them for black flag for unsafe pit exit or speeding in the pits, because that is the exit line for the pits, that blue line that we'll see here momentarily. But luckily, iRacing is not flagging it as a black flag. So
Banks is pretty much starting to walk off with this, up to almost a second lead over his teammate Schaefer.
And I kind of figured that Schaefer would be the faster driver here. He's kind of seems like he's better at short tracks than Banks is, but he also qualified pretty far back. So we may see him climb a little closer. We'll see what the speeds look like as the tires start wearing.
It's starting to spread out, so we may have a little bit of a, like you said, a green flag run all the way to stage.
Yeah, there's a big gap between second and third place. We'll see if Banks and Schaefer jumping out that far of a lead, if that's gonna affect their tires enough to let this group behind them catch up.
See, Maines, he dove it in pretty deep right there. Everybody's starting to see the line Penley's running. I saw it down, you try to following tow. It remains door to door right now.
Yeah, that was pretty tight racing.
Hine back out on the track, open modified style. William and Bosworth. How about your closest battle you've got? Is these two have been going at it.
And this is Boisvert's first race. He signed up for this series, but hasn't raced all season. So this will be interesting to see how he treats these guys. He was very fast in trucks last season. We were talking about Brandon Hughes starting from the pits, got that penalty pre-race. Right now, he is the only car one lap down, which means when this caution comes out in 23 laps, he will get back on the lead lap. Or if the caution comes out earlier than that, he'll get back on the lead lap. There is no other cars one lap down.
One anywhere to him as well, but he's, what, 5 laps?
Exactly. So as long as Brandon Hughes just keeps his car clean, doesn't get involved in anything, he's going to get back on this lead lap with no issues. So here, obviously, he doesn't want to get lapped and end up 2 laps down, but just stay on the lead lap, keep his car clean, and he will be back in contention at the next caution. But leaders have caught lap traffic, and Brandon Schaefer has caught Brandon Banks.
Yeah, lap traffic's going to be it's going to be a make or break for you. But I mean, you know, oh, Webb into the wall. Hastings ate him completely.
And those were both damaged cars. Oh, yeah. Caution is out.
Yeah, he completely ate his dinner, lunch, and everything. We actually saw that happen when it happened. Webb got into the wall. It don't look like Hastings saw him. He was right there behind Schaefer. Banks barely misses him. Schaefer barely missed him too. Hastings had no choice.
Well, and with that being said, they had just put Hastings a lap down. However, he was caught up in that. So this should hand that lucky dog to Brandon Hughes.
We didn't have to really replay that. We saw that happen in live time.
Looks like we got Cedric coming down pit road. This is a risky move in my opinion. These guys only have 3 additional sets of tires. They can run 52-ish laps on fuel. We're going to have a stage in 20 laps. If he's putting tires on here, this is kind of a risky move that may put him in a bad position for later in the race. Burning up a set of tires with only 20 laps on it, with still 25 laps to go with 2 remaining sets of tires. That's going to be a tough thing to do if he does put tires on here.
You know, but with that said, he's one of those that's kind of close right there, sitting in 13th on points. So he may be trying to get him a stage win, kind of give him a little cushion.
Yeah, but at what cost, right? We have 19 drivers on the lead lap right now. Now, granted, I imagine some of those guys are going to get wrecked out. But he may be going for a stage win, but that's going to set him back for an overall finishing position, right? It's only 7 points for a stage win.
He
So
leads a lap, so
Yep.
every
But then
point matters.
You're gonna be the only car out there, more than likely, on 20 lap old tires. Now, 20 lap old tires might not be a big deal at a super speedway or something like that, but at a short track, that is going to be a significant fall off in pace. He is going to go from the front to the back. And you know what they say when you're back there in the pack, you're back by the squirrels.
Yep, you're going to get them cracked.
Well, and I think it's even going to be worse at this track, right? Those restarts are insane. If you're towards the back, it, your chances of getting involved in something are a lot higher at the back than they are at the front, right?
Trading paint's up to date. Well, his uses trading paints may not like mine or something. Dewsbury's able to stay up there missing bumper, like you said, so hopefully missing some in the back won't affect it too much. And there he goes. Penley is showing. There we go.
Oh, Isaac Wilson goes around. Sam Sundstrom involved.
Oh,
Looked like he got tagged in the back. And if I'm being honest, it looked more like it was because of the 95 had to check up. He drove it in deeper than the car in front of him, had to check it up, and those guys behind him were running their normal speed, and that checkup kind of just brought them together.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it looks like the 95. Dude, that was the 42 may have broke a little bit earlier before Haynes was expecting it, or Maines.
Yeah, and I think, Isaac saw him checking up, but the 36 didn't. So he anticipated him going in a little deeper into the corner, and that's kind of what we saw there, I believe.
He's had nowhere to go. Completely T-boned the side.
Yeah, oh yeah, his front end is bad. Hood's shaking around. His car's looking pretty rough.
He had just got all that damage fixed from that last.
Well, and he was on the brakes pretty hard. I'm watching it right now. He just couldn't get it slowed down in time. When he made contact, he was doing about 35 miles an hour.
Oh, Hughes was.
Yeah, he was doing everything he could. Okay, he was doing about 60. And it dropped him to 35 instantly. But, he come into that corner, saw what was happening, got on the brakes, but just couldn't get it slowed down in time.
Well, like you said, what was our lucky dog at? We was talking about.
Well,
Never mind. Yeah, it was.
yeah,
Never mind.
he gonna be sitting in the pits for a while.
Fact check that. Well, there's two in the books, Tony. Maybe we should have took the over under on cautions tonight.
Yeah, and I feel like here, especially, cautions are going to breed more cautions. We bunch these guys up. They, you know, they go to launch, get into, turn two where everything comes together, and something's going to happen.
Well, for the 19 of y'all out there, we are on our third caution. I'm going to say, what, Tony? Third of the field has been collected.
Yeah, definitely. The 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 number of clean cars is definitely diminishing.
Now, we talked about Cedric earlier, him getting tires off of everybody else. Them tires really ain't getting used too much right now if we keep running like this right here.
No, definitely not getting used too much, but I do feel like on the restarts is where he's going to try and gain positions, but how much are they going to fall off? I can't imagine that these tires are going to hold up very well here. Between lap 11 and lap 24, that's 13 laps. Looks like they lost about 3 seconds a lap.
Mains and more almost getting into each other. Three wide.
Van Weston ripping that outside lane, definitely making some moves, getting some spots.
Boy, Cedric is on the move with those freshies. Ethan
45 looking low on Spencer, gonna make that pass into turn
Sundstrom, self
3.
spin. Back in that car, just got away from him coming out of turn two. No harm, no foul. He looks like he got it stopped before he hit that inner wall. So,
Well, he was caught up in that first big wreck, I believe, so he's probably fighting
well,
some handling issues there.
I think it may have something to do with that paint scheme. Just gonna go ahead and throw that out there. Not a Broncos fan.
I mean, it looks like Isaac Wilson will get the lucky dog and get back on the lead lap after getting caught up in that prior incident.
We can get a look. The front of his car, Tony. You're seeing what I'm seeing, man. The front of the car looks good.
Yeah, he got hit in the door. The
You know, the back of the car.
Yeah, back of the car is pretty beat up. He got T-boned by Hughes. I want to say, I don't remember if it was in the left side or the right side
It was
door.
driver's side door. But I
Now,
was
as long as
thinking.
as long as it didn't hit those tires, he'll be all right. But if he got T-boned and it caught one of the tires, that handling is going to be pretty wicked. And at a track like this where that car is loose, it's going to be a tough race the rest of the way.
Yeah,
I
but
think
go ahead.
he's one of those bubble drivers, isn't he?
Yes, so I was fixing to say he's staying out there, so he's gonna try to get as much fixed as he can.
So, you kind of got to be careful with this, right? He got the lucky dog and then came down pit road. I have had iRacing
Take
kind
it
of
away.
take that lucky dog away doing that. So we'll see where he comes out when it cycles back through.
Well, it looks like he got out before they got around, so I thought he did. I thought that was him coming out of pit.
No, he's still sitting on pit road.
Kicking down, Tony. 37 in the books. We got what, 6 laps per stage. Cedric, he's sitting in that 7th, 1 point. It looks like Isaac got out ahead of him.
Yeah, but he was in there quite a while. I think the lap he gained, he gave back up.
But that won't be bad because Hughes is back out on the track, it looks like.
Yeah, Hughes came out of pits.
So them two right there are going to be battling out for the lucky dog with the stage.
Yeah, and Sam is also 1 lap down Sam Sundstrom, so I guess I'm not sure if he's on track right now or if he's sitting in pits. He's back on track, so there's going to be 3 of them potentially.
Actually, we are wrong. Isaac is on the lead lap.
Oh, okay. I figured it would probably reset here because he did spend a lot of time in pits.
Yeah, almost, Tony, if you watch that just right, it almost looks like the wave. They're darting in and coming up on that dog leg. Go Bosworth, Weston battling it out. Penley.
Oh, Moore sent it in deep. Him and Gatlin Downey come together a little bit there, but they were able to gather it up and continue on.
Ooh, Bosworth clears 3 on the running that shallow lane that we was talking about earlier.
Cedric up to 3rd.
That's what? 5 points, 5 bonus points right now.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about using that set of tires up so early. I feel like the gain he gets now is going to be offset by what he loses towards the end. 2 to go till stage.
He's vying for every point he can get right now. Knows he's one of those drivers. He's still, I want to say he's on the bubble. Not in the bubble, but on the bubble. But without him breaking down shallow, he might be able to get it right here.
Yeah, he's going to lose a lot of momentum off the corner, I think, running that real shallow entry there. Going to be tough to make that path on those twos.
Hey, 5 bonus points, nothing to be upset about.
And the caution is out. That is the stage.
45 in the books, 4 cautions.
I think the real question here for Cedric is he going to stay out or is he going to pit? I think he has to stay out. I don't think he can use up another set of tires here. If he were to pit, though, God, that would be even worse.
We'll find out whether or not he did or didn't right after we get back to this commercial break from Talesman. He pitted, but did not take tires. Fuel only. Splash and go, Tony. Well, what do you think on this one?
Well, I think it's gonna be one of those things where we're gonna learn right here what they can do, and how bad those old tires are gonna be compared to fresh tires. It's gonna start out front, but it's at quite a disadvantage compared to the guys behind him. If he can maintain without falling all the way to the back, we may see something later in the race. This is gonna tell the field a lot, I think.
Banks coming out 14th. In there for 35 seconds. Did he have a penalty or something?
Um, I don't know. But definitely not a spot he wants to be in back there.
No, definitely not. I mean, he is locked in. He is on house money, but still, you want to get all the points you can to cushion that playoff run. Old tires versus new tires.
Yeah, he must add a penalty because it's got cars passing him right now as they get ready for green.
Cedric got a jump. Oh, Bosworth putting it 3 wide. Downey more. Riggs got a great view. Downey is bowing out.
That was tight. I can't believe they made that stick.
You know what? I normally don't do this unless it's a caution, but I'm going to run that back just a minute and just see. Because Riggs had a perfect view of it.
Got something going on here. I thought I just saw a car spin. Ricky Williams. Cutting the dog leg, self-spun.
We talked about that bounce right there.
Well, and he cut down pretty late. And I think that's, the later you do it, the worse it's going to be. That being said, Cedric has dropped to third on those old tires, so hasn't fallen back too much, but it's only been, what, 4 or 5 laps. 's got to run to his inside.
Oh,
Likely will make the pass here.
saw a little banging between the 45 and the 30.
Another little bit of banging here. 47 and the 8. Trading a little paint.
Me and Maine's battling it out. This track is kind of a kryptonite for me. When I first started on Heat, broadcasting Heat 5 races, when they'd go through hit that dog leg, you never could tell if they was actually coming out of the pits or in the pits.
Oh yeah, imagine.
And one of the other hardest races, it was Bristol, because the track is so fast. You don't know what turn they're in. By the time you say they're in it, they're in another one. So
Right. Well, right now, Brandon Schaefer sitting in the lead with a 1.3 second gap over Nathan Nixon in second, and then another second and a half back to the 45 of Ethan
Oh,
Collier.
Cody Riggs.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Looks like he may have spun it on that dog leg.
Oh, him and
Oh, 7.
Bisbee.
Yeah, the 7 tried to come down, and the 12 wasn't coming down. They just came together there, and
And that's the risk right there on that dog.
unfortunately for Cody, he's the one that paid the price for it.
I'm gonna say that wasn't intentional. No.
Yeah, I think it was just lack of situational awareness. If he had been, if the 7 had been running around Cody Riggs all night, he would have known that Cody Riggs wasn't cutting that dog leg. He anticipated Riggs cutting the dog leg and went to make a move to do the same, and they came together.
But hey, he's still on the lead lap.
Yeah, so don't think he really took any damage out of that. He just needs to get it gassed up and get back rolling.
Get back in that rhythm.
Cedric on those old tires has fallen to 9th. Brandon Banks, who started back in like 14th, is driven up to 7th.
Oh, and that's lethal right there. Banks and Penny both take it shallow.
Yeah, I think they're both good enough drivers where it really won't be an issue. It's some of the other guys that they're not used to racing around and may not have the same abilities as they do, where they'd have to be a little more cautious with that.
We've got the next week. That's going to end it up for the regular season. But after that, we're going to have that All-Star race, July 10th at Kentucky.
Yeah, I went and turned some laps there. Should be a really fun race. That car, the next gen car, feels really good at Kentucky.
Let's not also forget we've got the admins versus race winners, I believe. That race coming up, I believe it's at. I don't know. You might have to double check on that schedule.
I don't recall the date, but I know it's going to be in the ARCA car at Pocono, so it should be interesting. Going to put some of the top ARCA and truck drivers against the league admins and race it out and see.
Can I buy my way in to wreck Matt?
We're going to see how these guys stack up against the admins.
Putting the bounty out right now. Anybody takes out Matt Thorns, you may get a Christmas card.
And the ARCA guys are going to have an advantage, right? They drive that car week in and week out. Truck drivers are going to be at a slight disadvantage, and the admins really are going to be at a pretty significant disadvantage, just because the admins don't really run that car. Pretty much all of our admins, except for I believe one, is a cup driver.
So if you hear it right now, the bounty is out from Thorns from me. And if you make him hit a water barrel, it's doubled. Oh, Dewsbury gets into Downey, takes his bumper off.
Yeah, I think Downey had to jack up a little bit there, and Dewsbury was not expecting that.
Oh.
Dewsbury into the wall off of turn 2.
I think Dewsbury was expecting the wall to be that close.
And we got in the back of Boisford a little bit there.
Dewsbury's he's working on his Christmas streams list right now.
Cedric has fallen to 11th on those old tires. So I don't think we're going to see anybody taking that strategy. He went from first to 11th in, call it 15 laps.
but he got 8 or what 6 points out of it. So with that happening with Isaac, that's
So
going to give him some cushion.
those he gained 5 points in the stage, but those 5 points he gained, well, he restarted first, gained a lead lap, led a lap, so 6, but he went from first to 11th, so now he lost 11 points. So it's all going to come out to the. I think for him, he needs the race to run green. If we get cautions pretty close together, he is really going to be at a huge disadvantage. Brandon Schaefer has stepped his lead out to about 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, he's pretty much walking away from the field. Now you've got everybody pretty much spread out, unless I would say unless something drastic happens right here between Maines, Bosworth, and Dewsbury, it may stay clean and green through the net pit cycle.
Yeah, and every driver right now, at least I would say the majority of the drivers right now, unless somebody accidentally used up a set of tires, should have 2 additional sets of tires remaining, with 80 laps to go. They've been out on these tires for 22-ish laps. So when do we start seeing people cycle to the pits? I think Schaefer would probably be the last one to go in, but I think once anybody behind him goes in, I think you're going to see everybody following.
Yeah, it's pretty much going to be fair game, because I mean he's built up a 4-second gap over Nix, so he's got some time to play with there.
He definitely does, but with that being said, his lap times have fallen off about 1.5 seconds a lap. So if somebody short pits, they may be able to gain that back, to overcome 3-4 seconds, maybe more depending on when he pits, that deficit, but will potentially, pay the price in the long run. So I'm curious to see who's gonna be that first person to come down pit road.
And also, real quick, while I'm on the topic, out there talking with Tony Cavett, he's talking about Larkin. That Larkin is awesome, but if you mute it, it does not count. Believe it or not, Twitch has got that set up for if you mute it, it will not count for it. So if you have it turned up just a tad, it counts. But if it's muted, it won't count. And it's crazy.
All right, so we see Schaefer. He is closing in on Cody Riggs. If I'm Cody Riggs, as soon as I get lapped or I'm about to get lapped, I'm heading down pit road and hope I can cycle out back on the lead lap.
This little group caught up together here. Collier, Moore, Penley, Banks. That almost looked like it was going to be a four wide situation. Oh,
Got
Collier in the wall.
Sam Sundstrom saying he's coming down pit road. Not really going to affect our lead lap cars. He's 2 laps down at the moment. But I think as soon as one of our lead lap cars decides to go down pit road, it's going to be a pretty fast decision for everybody to follow suit.
Ooh, Penley and Banks. Moore 3 wide. Moore got out of the gas real quick going in that dog leg. Schaefer's, he's pretty much walked away.
Yeah, he's over 6-second lead. After starting 11th, I assume he must have had an issue in qualifying, got loose or got tight, had to get out the throttle. That's what put him towards the back there, because he obviously has the speed.
That's something I'm going to say I've seen consistent with Schaefer. His qualifying hasn't been the best, but his his racing has been a whole lot better. I mean, it's not going to say it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And prime example. Right now, your biggest mover, that's going to be Ricky Williams. He's still running about that 13th position. He seems to be pretty happy, but here comes Schaefer.
Got some cars coming down pit road. It's like, I believe that's a 28 of Evan Ludi. He is 23 laps down. So I don't think that's really going to be a factor in our lead lap drivers as well.
Well, it's looking like Penley may be holding on to those checks for another race.
Well, I mean, he's not even close to a set person. So
Pretty much spread out.
yeah, they're kind of bunched up here, 2nd to 5th a little bit, but so by my math, we got about 64 laps. You got 2 sets of tires. I'd be coming in right about now.
Yeah, I'm about like you. I mean, you're going to say lap 90.
Well, and we went back green at, what, lap 50. So they've run 37 laps on this set of tires, right? You got 2 more in the pits. Why not split that? Do 30, 31 laps, whatever, somewhere around there. And come in now, get a set of tires, and then in about 30 laps, come back in. You can run it long just in case a caution comes out and you want to flip some track position. You know, there's kind of opens the door a little bit. But if you come in early and then a caution comes out, you're really in a bad spot. You're definitely going to lose at least one lap coming to pit road here. And I have a feeling that a lot of these guys are anticipating a late race caution, so they're trying to hang on to a set of tires as long as they can.
If it does, I'd say it's going to happen after the, yeah, after the caution. If it happens, it's going to start back up.
Well, I think as soon as we start seeing, people pit, we're going to have such different lap times. That's potentially where we're going to get a caution, right? Lap times are falling off pretty hard. They went from running 27s to running 29s, so about 2 seconds a lap. Let's see what our leader. He's running 28.9s last time by, and his fastest lap was a 27.3, so not as bad of a fall off there, about little over a second and a half. But you imagine being one of these fast guys coming pits, get a fresh set of tires, and then having all these cars on old tires trying to dodge all these guys,
Yeah.
especially turn 2 coming into turn 1 where everybody's fanned out. It could be pretty difficult.
Yeah, Jacob, you're a little late on that one. We already called that one out earlier. Welcome to the party. Nixon and Banks has got them a nice little battle been going on for the past couple laps.
Yeah, Banks was able to climb back. Looks like Schaefer might be slowing down a little bit, managing the gap, because I think he was somewhere around 8 seconds ahead. Now he's down to like 7. So it's either lap traffic slowing him down, or he's just gonna back it up a little bit, manage the gap, save a little bit of tire, and then choose when he wants to come in and get those fresh set of tires on that car.
Yeah, you build up a 7 second lap, you pretty much get to pick and choose. Cedric cut it close right there on that inner wall.
Yeah, and I feel like Cedric should have already coming down, right? His tires are old. What, lap 20 he
Yeah.
came in? So he's on 70, over 70 lap tires. Granted, there's some cautions in there. You would think he's going to be the first one to come in and put fresh tires
But
on.
the thing is, Tony, he's still able to put in a 28.8. So
Which is competitive.
Yeah.
Schaefer's last lap was a
28.7, fine.
yeah. So 20 lap older tires and still competitive, but I think you kind of put yourself in a hole, right? So maybe you got to kind of work that strategy and hope it plays out in the long run. If you continue to pit with everybody else, you're probably not going to gain anything. You already offset your pit strategy with everybody else. Now I think you got to see that through to have a chance.
Yeah, if you got a strategy, I mean, if it works from previous experiences at the track, who cares what everybody else is on? Do what works for you. Oh, Moore cut that wall close. Collier, Pinley, they are all gathering up. Now, 45, if I'm not mistaken, he is with FRC.
I believe you're right, but don't quote me on that. Let's take a peek. FRC.
But he's running real close right there with the SVR boys. Moore and Pinley ain't going to give each other any slack.
All right, so right now we have 11 cars on the lead lap. Should be 10 actually as soon as it updates. Isaac Wilson will be the next car to go a lap down.
And you know, for the luck or the unluck Isaac's had sitting in P10 right now, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I think for somebody like Isaac, just stay out as long as you can, right? Nixon coming to pit road, 45 coming to pit road, 45 coming in hot. I think he was speeding. I think the 45 is going to get a black flag for speeding on pit road.
Gooseberry's coming in.
All right, so somebody has started the cycle, right? Everybody else, I imagine, is going to follow.
There's Schaefer. And Banks coming in. Ooh. Banks cutting it close. Here we go. Green flag cycle. Cedric is staying out.
I can't imagine he's got much fuel left.
I can't imagine we ain't seeing spark shit.
21 coming down, 36 coming down.
But, you know, in the back of Cedric's head, he may be thinking they're all pitting. It's going to be a mess coming out.
Yeah, but, man, as many laps as he's run, I mean, he's what?
There he is.
Yeah, he's got to be about out of fuel.
I think his tires are gone, too. It's going to rotate Riggs. Riggs going to try to get around him and get leading the lap. Riggs is another one that needs all the points he can get.
Oh, we got Gatlin Downey sideways. Caution is out.
Oh. Look back and see what happened there.
Saw Gatlin Downey sideways. I didn't see what led up to it.
Okay, back in, just kicked away from him.
Drove it in too deep. That's what it looked like to me. Maybe had a little too much rear brake bias in it.
He tried keeping that caution from coming out. He didn't stop for long.
All right, so Cody Riggs, perfect situation, right? He was a lap down, stayed out, caution came out, got the lap led. Now he's going to be able to pit, put fresh tires on it, and come back out. He'll be 11th. Right? Perfect situation. Gets his lap back, better tires, and now caught back up to the pack.
Yeah, you can't ask for that to play out better. You see Isaac getting the wave around.
Yep, that's going to put him back on the lead lap, and that's going to leave two more cars one lap down. Josh Van Westen and Brandon Hughes, they will be battling to be in that position in case a caution comes out later.
Well, we know Riggs is looking forward to that break.
Oh, and he just missed pit road. That's going to be a black flag.
It looked
like
he got in.
Did he get all four tires inside the box? Because if he didn't, I mean, I guess I don't know how iRacing is on it, but in real life NASCAR, that's a penalty.
So it's going to be a close call right there. That was a last minute decision right there. Ooh.
If iRacing's anything like real life NASCAR, he's going to get a penalty for that. He didn't get a whole penalty, so we'll see if it gives him an EOL. Which, not a big deal, right? He was probably going to come out last anyways, because everybody else was going to stay out for the most part.
And he cycled it out anyway. I mean, EOL, he was going to be there anyway, so.
I'm assuming that he just was having a little, I guess, not paying attention because everybody knew he was going to pit there, right? He's the only one who hadn't pitted, had to go get tires, had to go get fuel. I don't feel like that was a head game, like he was trying to mess somebody up. I think it was, hey, pit road's open. Crap, I need to turn.
Well, that also, and it can be one of those consulting with the rest of the team. You're like, yeah, pit.
I don't feel like there's really any consulting to do there, right? You pit here, you can run to the end. You haven't been on pit road for a long time. You need tires. Like,
Well, that's
I
that
don't feel
word.
like there was much to consult there.
That's that word from Isaac. Said his car is not too bad driving after the fiascos he's had tonight.
I'm not even sure where he is at.
He is sitting in 12th.
Oh, but he's lucky dog, so he's going to be at the back of the pack. He's just catching the field now as they're going green.
Ooh, Riggs in the back of Boswell. That group right checked up. Boswell in the main. Cedric splitting the needle. God, there they go, touch.
Cody into the wall.
Cody keeps it straight.
And that's going to be a caution for
Cedric.
Cedric.
Oof.
And I feel like that all started with that 47 car.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw that one brewing. No, let's take it back just a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that got caused by that checkup from the 47 car almost hitting the 95, or actually hitting the 95, which caused some more checkups behind him. Oh, and 12 getting into the back of the 30.
To the 47. Cody's gave him a little bump, but saw that checking up. And Cedric's actually drifting it across the apron. Weston threaded the needle.
I feel like the 30 was doing everything he could to keep it off of him, but I just don't think there was anything more he could do.
Yeah, once you hit that apron, it's ice skating pretty much.
We're going to have about 40 laps till the end. I think we're going to see the intensity start picking up here. Good news for Isaac Wilson. He got back on the lead lap with that last caution. Now he will not have to start behind all the lap cars.
Well, also with saying on Isaac, he's about got all his damage fixed, so he may be a threat to watch here. I'll tell you what, these restarts is where it's going to come down to. It's like Bosworth went into pit, got him a little bit of fuel. Well, the last pit. What I'm going to watch right there, Tony, on this restart, that's going to be how Spencer does. Because you've got some fast guys up there at the front. I'm not going to lie. You got Schaefer, Banks, Collier, Nixon, Pinley, Moore, and Dewsbury. I mean...
Well, and he's going to be starting on the outside row. I'm not sure which row is actually going to be a benefit, right? I think with everybody stacked up, I think it's going to be fairly equal. The benefit's going to be coming out of crossing the start-finish line, getting down to the apron. That's where you're going to see the gain, right? So probably inside is going to be best. Being on the outside, you might lose a spot here, depending on how
Well,
something weird is going on. Now it's got Newsbury on the bottom line. Something must have updated on. Now it's showing him 6, so iRacing might be having a little glitch right now because he's lined up in the 7th spot, but it's saying he's in the 6th spot.
you go. Schaefer and Banks. They're going to have their start time, but Nixon and Collier, they're going to have to be watching.
Oh, absolutely.
Moore is slow on that restart.
Very slow. 4, 5, 6 car lengths in front of him. Cedric's driving angry, I think. He's making moves top to bottom.
He is a man on a mission.
Dewsbury gets really wide into the wall. Coming out of turn 3.
These guys fighting. The more they fight, the further Schaefer's going to be able to get away from them.
Oh, Cody Riggs hooked the 7. Sent him into the outside wall. He's going to bring out the caution. Looks like he hooked him in the left rear. And
So that's going to be one of those Spencer. Well, they hadn't.
it looked like Riggs may have gotten a little bit loose watching how that car kind of reacted. It looked like the back end may have came around and Riggs had to try to catch it and had to turn it up the track a little bit and just barely got him.
Isaac's in a good view of it, so we'll be able to tell who got loose.
No, I think if you look at Riggs' cockpit, you definitely see his wheel input. See how that back end's starting to fishtail a little bit? See, you had to catch it right a little bit. That may have been after the contact, too. I guess I'm not sure. Pushing tight. See him have to go to the right a little bit there. That's just tight racing.
It survived another one. He's going to get in. If they keep on like this, he'll have all that damage fixed. You know who's not liking this restart? Schaefer. He is not liking this.
The people who are liking this are the guys who are having trouble saving tires. Because every caution that comes out is less laps they got to put on this set of tires.
35 to go. If you got a set of tires next caution, Tony, do you take them?
I think it depends on where you're at in the pack. Top 5, probably not, right? How many cars we got on the lead lap? 13.
12. Nope, 13. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he should get the wave around, or did get the wave around. So like
he uses back in it.
If you're 6th, 7th on back, heck yeah, go get a set of tires. You got them. But I think you need to let it run at least another 10 laps or so before you see any benefit. Well, your pick is sitting in fourth right now.
Me and Penley had a talk, so. We're gonna see how this is gonna play out. Riding above Moore right now. Sitting above Isaac right now, you can see that how the top 10's fixing to play out. Ooh, 89. Almost mistimed that restart.
Well, and the three cars on the outside lane were very tight. So, you know, if you're off a little bit on your timing, that's going to create a checkup towards the back, that ripple effect.
3 wide. Vaughn, Ricky, and Downey. You're coming up on Hughes. Hughes right in the middle of it.
How about that? Joey Main's running fourth.
That is not a glitch. That is actually happening. He's probably. I wonder how many of these guys actually cuss me when they go back and listen to these, thinking he really said that about me. Really?
Main's looking on the inside of the 45, gets a little wide in the corner. Gonna push the 45 up the track a little bit. Gonna make the pass and open the door for Penley to come through.
You've got to give the 45 respect there. He led off. Oh,
47 just almost killed Penley. Caused a pretty big checkup behind him, too. The 30 had to get on the brakes pretty hard.
Boy, if I'm Penley, I'm writing them down.
Well, and this is the 47's first race in this series, right? So these guys don't know how he drives. They haven't had that experience with him. So, you know, they don't know if he's going to be aggressive, if he's going to be conservative. They have no clue. This is probably not a good track to figure that out.
No.
Bentley looked like he got the wall coming off of turn 2 a little bit there.
Cherry ice cream coming in with that follow. Appreciate it. You came in at a pretty good time. 25 to go here at Phoenix. 2 races left before we start playoffs. Got a little bit of a battle up here. Collier's coming back.
33. Nixon just chopped off the 47's nose.
Bosworth's giving us a good view of what's going on right here. Here we are. They are stacking up together. Oh, Moore gets into Cedric.
Penley gets a good run off that high side. Going to try to battle back, get that spot back that he lost. He's sitting in 7th right now.
Ooh.
Isaac Wilson slides across the track. 11 hit the 227, knocked him up into the Isaac. Another car came in behind and clobbered him.
Looked like he got too much damage out of it. Did Isaac hit that inner wall?
Oh,
Let's look at
Isaac just drove it in deep and had to get off the throttle hard. He did, I think, catch the inner wall a little bit.
I was wondering where Moore got that
Yeah.
boost of speed from.
Well, we've seen Moore really back up that corner all night. And I think that's what you saw there. And Isaac was not anticipating that. Isaac, yeah, he hit the wall with the inner wall with his left front fender, and then the 227 came and tagged him in the left rear, and then Gatlin down. He got in the back of the 227.
I think Sam pretty much straightened Isaac out from doing a complete spin.
Yeah, I think Sam paid well, Sam and Gatlin paid the most on that one.
Well, here you go. We was talking about pits. Look who's in. Schaefer, Banks, Maines, Collier, Penley. They all went in for it.
Boyspurt's in there. Hughes. All right, so who stayed out? Looks
Nixon,
like
Brosro, Briggs, and Weston.
So I just feel like there's too many laps left. These guys probably are not going to be able to hold off fresh tires, but we'll see. Get a couple back-to-back cautions, and these guys will be looking pretty good.
Seems often to stay out. Glad to know. Glad to know it's supported opinion.
This is definitely going to get interesting. We're going to have
Oh gosh, yes.
what, 7 cars on old tires, give or take. Another 6 cars on fresh tires.
We're gonna have 21 to go when we can go green.
So these guys that stayed out, right? Nixon, he was running top 4, top 5. Cody, further back on the lead lap. So what do they really have to lose here by staying out? They get to try to defend the position, but if they fall back, they're not as as far back as you would think. Ooh, this is interesting. Schaefer in 11th. I'm curious what happened here. If he got a black flag. I'm gonna go back and watch his pit road. He did get a black flag. Got in the EOL, it looks like.
Well, it's not going to be good for the field because you know he's going to be moving through that field. I am not cheap, Jacob. See who we ride with here on this restart. See right there with odds, it's going to be a good way to see how it's going to play out. Race scattered, lights are on. 10 wide almost. Oh, there it is. Maine's into Weston. Or Maine's into Collier, into Weston. Penley getting loose.
William Moore paid the price there. All right, so So I did see some speeding, a little bit of speeding, 2 miles an hour on Schaefer, but that's all I saw on pit road. So I don't know if iRacing nabbed him for that or not.
Say, what caused that 45 was like he may have came up just a tad too much into mains and then into Weston.
Yeah, it looked like the 45 came up, 95 came down.
And 93 prayed to God he got through it.
I think 42 was the innocent
Schaefer
bystander
involved.
there. Stephen Hine, I feel like he's been in every wreck tonight.
28. That's going to be Evan Rudy.
He was like 20 something laps down, so I don't really think that's a huge deal there. Ricky Williams is kind of another one that was running up towards the front. He got 2 laps down now.
Tony? Your boy's in second.
Yeah, it like we said, if a couple of consecutive cautions kind of might help these guys out here that stayed out. I assume Banks took tires, right?
According to the time, it is. Oh, like Cedric did. 7-second pit stop. Tells me that's just gas.
Well, and we did see his long run and tires not really falling off, so I feel like he might be all right. Banks is kind of, I feel like it's his to win right now, right? He's against guys on old tires. He's got fresh tires. He's the first car on fresh tires. Sitting in third on the restart, gonna have that inside row. Yeah, he could probably, if he gets a good launch, he could probably clear him going into turn 1.
Yeah, him being on the inside, but you know Nixon takes that same line. He dives deep.
Yeah, but Nixon has to not spin his tires, right? He's on older tires. He's got to have a clean restart, no tire spin, but also not being conservative. He's going to have a really good restart here to maintain this. Otherwise, you're going to see Banks dive it to the bottom and just full send through, I think. Now, if you're Cedric, I feel like you got to hang right on that 33's right rear quarter panel. Man, Weston's sitting up here in 5th spot right now.
Yeah, but Weston's starting that blinking.
Yeah, I see that. His ping is pretty high right now. Hopefully it levels out and get a good race in here. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for everybody around him if he starts blinking.
Hughes has got back on the lead lap.
Yeah, I think he may have been involved in that last wreck, though. I don't know what kind of damage he has.
We're going to watch it restart above him. It's going to give us a good little view of what's going to happen ahead. And you know Nixon's got the bird. You know,
And Nixon got a great jump. Cedric was sleeping a little bit. That's going to open that door for Banks to get to P2.
4 wide. Oh, God, there it is.
21 into the 8 into the 12. 95 squeezes through, gets a little bit from the...
Oh! Inley. Riggs.
Go back and see what happened there. It almost looked like the 21 got him.
Well, they're sitting there 4 wide. And it's like 21 came up into the 8 and put him into the 12.
I don't think the 21 realized they were 4 wide. I don't think he would have come up that much if he realized that.
And you also had William on the inside of you. That's
I think the 21's commitment level to running that apron was not there. You saw him lift, saw the sparks fly out of the exhaust. Looks like everybody else was full send through there, and he lifted, and I think that's what allowed the 47 to get to his inside.
well. There went my driver. There went my pick.
Yeah, he's probably done. Um, that's a pretty hard lick, him and the 12 of Cody Riggs.
That's not something Riggs wanted sitting right there above that bubble.
No, but he did get, bonus point for leading a lap. If he can get out there, I think he'll be all right. Staying on that lead lap would guarantee him, an 11th place finish.
Well, with New Broad not being here tonight and but not finishing the race, really, I think the only things made us swap positions may just be your top 16. I mean, 13 through 16. They're probably going to shift around a little bit.
Well, as tight as those points are, I don't think there's they have to shift around a little bit, right? What were we, 3 points or something?
Yeah, Broswell's sitting in 13th. He's +9 in mains cut off. He's sitting +3. So
Yeah. Cedric's sitting in 3rd right now. Cody Riggs went down pit road. He's probably going to come out somewhere around 11th. Maines is sitting in 5th.
I think he's scratching, clawing his way up to 6th.
So we might see a little bit of shakeup, but I don't think we're going to see anybody bumping into the top 16 or falling out of the top 16.
No.
It actually might open that bubble group up a little bit now.
But with Vaughn, I mean, the only one may swap too is Ludi. I mean, Moore may, I don't know if he's 6 points, jump him. He may be able to jump him.
But this is where it's going to get interesting, right? We got, 12 laps to go when we go green, or 11 laps to go when we go green. We got Nixon on old tires, Banks on fresh tires. Nixon's got that preferred line on the inside where he can cut down to the apron. It's really going to be a defense game here for the 33, and the 54 is going to be all offense. He's going to be pushing as hard as he can to get around that 33, because if he can get around him, I don't think the 33 has a chance of catching him. Cody Riggs able to stay on that lead lap. His car is beat up, but he's sitting in 9th, I believe. Nixon with a great jump again. That's going to open the door for the 30 to take P2 away. That's going to help Nixon. 54 able to keep it on the outside of the 30. Nixon all the way down to the apron. Whoa. Something happened with the 33 here. He's coming down pit road. Oh, wrecking behind. Van Weston in it. He's got no hood. Oh, now it's back. They get it straightened out, though. Still green.
Black flag, jump to start.
Oh, no. Sure enough. Let's go back and look at that.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, iRacing controls the black flags and the yellow and the cautions.
I did not see him jump to start. On my screen, he went in the restart zone. He was doing pace speed. So something weird happened there.
Oh, not the most recent, not this one, but the one before. John Buckets. Banks ain't got too much. I think he's going to be able to keep William at bay. Brandon Weston's sitting up in fourth. 6 to go. I'm going to say there's not one car out there that don't have damage on it.
Yeah. I went back and looked also at Nixon's restart on the prior. He definitely jumped the start. He was doing 61 at the line. Cedric fell to fifth. And he just got turned off the 42's bumper.
42 trying to stop.
No caution. Cedric might be trying to get back to that 42's bumper.
Three to go. Banks is. Yeah, I'm going to have to say, Tony, the 30 gets up to more. I can't really blame him if an accident happened.
White flag is out.
I think anybody's got much for Banks. I think this is pretty much going to be him main. So he can hold off Weston. Banks one last ditch attempt. Could not get it. Gonna have to settle for P3. Weston with his highest finish. Riggs scrapes up a top 5.
And I think that's pretty important for Riggs, right? He was right on that cut line. Oh, some after the race stuff going on there between the 30 and the 42. Imagine that 32 car will be called to the hauler, or the 30 car will be called to the hauler. I also think that there's another car out there that might be called to the hauler doing burnouts on pit road.
Yeah, he definitely let him know he wasn't happy. Well, it's gonna make Banks four-time winner. See if we can. Yeah, he's putting it up in big. He know exactly where to go. I don't know if it gives a good. I don't really give a good shot from there. Let's see if we can catch up with Banks real quick. Mr. Banks, you got you one at Phoenix, and you
Yeah.
actually did park it in Victory Lane.
Yeah, I tried. Try to make it look good.
But man, walk us through those restarts, man. That was wild for you.
Yeah. I mean, it probably looked more wild than it really was. Really, as long as you had the inside and you could just kind of get on the apron, you could get a huge advantage going into one on everybody. Mid pack, yeah. I mean, I had a speeding penalty early in the race, and I don't know what happened. I just what brain fart, I guess, and had to drive back through the field. Kind of got lucky with a couple cautions to get back to Schaefer, and then he sped. So, and then I guess he just wasn't as lucky getting back through the field. So, but yeah, that was it was fun. The restarts were fun. Like I said, it like I said, if you could just kind of hold the bottom there at the beginning, it was just so much faster down there. You could just pull away.
Well,
Well, man, you had your penalty. You overcame. Looked like there was some pretty aggressive driving all through the field. How do you felt like this race went overall? A lot of good racing, a lot of
Yeah,
aggression.
yeah, it was good. I mean, when I drove back through the field, everyone raced was, that I was racing around here, they were racing really clean. So, there was some give and take. This track's tough. I mean, you're carrying so much speed into one. If you're just not used to this track, you can just slide up and get into someone and not even mean to. So, just had to be real disciplined on where your braking points were at and just making sure that you hit your mark going into one. But all in all, it was a good race. I mean, everybody seemed like they were, uh, you could beat and bang just a little bit, and everybody was kind of just giving just a little bit. And if they saw it was a faster car coming or something, we just kind of gave to each other. So it was all in all fun.
well, the break I believe that really secured it for you was Nixon jumping. Was
Yeah.
that kind of a relief to you, or a letdown that you wasn't going to be able to hard nose race him to the end?
Uh, I don't know. I think I could have beat him, to be honest with you. But I mean, he was fast. He was really good on the short run. With those cautions we had there at the end and making it into a 10, 15 lap sprint, he would have probably he'd been hard to get around. And I just don't. I'm not kind of one to try not to lay the bumper to somebody to move him out the way. So it probably would have been tougher for me than somebody like Schaefer. Schaefer don't mind it. But yeah, he was quick. I think I could have got him. I know in the long run I was a good bit faster than him, but like I said, we had that short run at the end. He probably would have been pretty good. So it'd have been fun to watch. I kind of hate it for him, but I saw he jumped. I was like, man, I felt like he went early, and he did. So
And you know you're going to the playoffs, but you're getting more of a cushion for it. So next
yeah.
week it's Talladega. I mean, it's going to be a crap shot pretty much. Whoever wins it, y'all's playing at DBR for next week.
We got like I said, we got some wins. We're definitely going. So we'll probably go in there with no cares and just try to run up front and just make it fun. Not having to worry about points or anything like that. It's always kind of hectic when you're right there on right there on the cutoff line to try to make it, and then you got a track like Talladega. So it's gonna be fun to see those guys that are needing to get in and right on the line there to see what they're gonna do. But I think uh, normally I'm a ride in the back kind of person at Talladega and just wait till the end. Save just usually be more cautious than anything. But I think next week we're gonna definitely try to put it up front and make it exciting for you.
Well, but before you decide on a what you're gonna do at Talladega, just remember that that overall regular season championship is five
Yeah.
additional bonus points.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be nice to have, but like I said, it's gonna be too much fun to be able to get up there and race hard with these guys. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll if we see that everybody's racing like they got some sense for a little bit, I think we'll get up there. If it gets a little crazy, we kind of know when to back out. So we'll see. We'll see how everybody does. I think it's gonna be exciting.
All right, brother, we're gonna shoot you on your way, man. You know the routine though. Before you go, you get those shout outs.
Yeah, appreciate it, Talesman, for putting it on. Tony, you guys in the booth for doing everything you do. It's a lot of fun in here, man. These these guys are definitely a lot of fun to race with, and uh, hated for Schaefer there. Good win or good for William there, being his first start in the league, finishing second. Good job to him, and we'll like I said, we'll go on next week and we'll see what we can do. Try to make it exciting for you.
Gonna shoot you on out of here. Congratulations on the win.
All right, thanks, guys.
Well, Tony, we talked about it before, and Jacob brought up the point too, and Mister William,
Yeah,
Mister William getting that P2 finish, first race back at Xfinity, man. Congratulations on it. How's it feel?
yeah. I'm honestly surprised. I didn't expect, especially with the way my race has begun. I didn't expect to finish second, so I'm happy.
Well, you had a up and downhill battle. You, you are the biggest mover, up 19 spots from where you started. So that's something to be very proud of. But your first race at Phoenix, man. I mean, what was your game
Yeah.
plan? Was you and Cedric and Vincent all kind of figuring something out together, or how was that playing out?
Well, honestly, I did a GT3 race right before the race started. So with the way the servers time up, I couldn't put a qualifying lap. So I was just chilling at the back, and I was like hoping to figure it out by the first caution for the first stage. And I got caught up in a wreck off of two, I mean, on the first lap. So I spent the first stage just going to the pits, taking repairs, not taking tires, trying to fight and see how the car would react with no tires. And yeah, I don't even know how, but I managed to get up there for the last restart, and I ended up getting second. So I'm quite happy with that. Brendan was faster than me. I know he had is it him who had a penalty, or I don't remember, but he got a little bit back, and then he got back up front. But yeah, I can't race on Mondays because I have band practice. Is the only reason I didn't come back and try more races in the Xfinity series. But I'll do my best and try to come back because it's fun.
Tony, anything for him?
Nah, man, good race tonight. Glad to see you back in here racing with some of these guys. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, I remembered a couple of names from the truck series last season, so it's quite fun.
Yeah, I think there was a few of them that came up here. Penley being one of them. I know you guys had some battles in
Yes,
trucks.
yes, exactly. And another person, I just forget their name right now. I'll just check. Spencer.
Oh yeah,
Spencer in the 7 car. I raced with him a few times, and yeah, it's great fun. I don't know what track we're heading to next week, but I'll try and make it.
Talladega.
Oh, that's fun.
All right, brother, we're gonna shoot you on down and lead you on to divide the plan for Vegas, since it sounded like you got kind of excited on that one.
Yeah, we'll have to figure something out, especially if we get taken out in the early going and try to get back on the Lucky Dog and not get those 0x contacts and disqualify ourselves from Lucky Dog. I'll try and see what I can do. I don't promise I'll be there, but I'll try my best.
All right, brother. We'll be looking out for you, man. Congratulations on that P2.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me, and see you next time, I hope.
Well, that's how you do it, Tony. I mean, that's almost like Alyssa and Arca, first race. She gets a win. His first race in, he gets a P2. So, man, this is going to be one that's going to be interesting. He somehow managed to scratch and claw, and he somehow managed to find P3 on the podium. Joey, you survived, man.
Survived a lot better this week than last week.
That you definitely did, didn't you, Tony?
Oh, definitely, man. Got caught up in some stuff, but able to survive and bring it home third.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. I finished a lot better than I was. I was running about 7th to 10th basically the entire race, and I got lucky with the restarts there at the end. I was able to pick off a few extra spots and worked out pretty good.
Man, you were coming through the pack there. Tell us how the racing was out there. It looked like there was some people that were pretty aggressive. There were other people that were kind of conservative. What did you see out there?
Yeah, you got it. There was definitely some people that were just trying to go easy, finish the race because we're getting close to only got one race left. People are going for points, but then there were some people that, like me, after last week, I wanted to get as many points as I could. Was racing a little bit more on the aggressive side, but it was a good mixed batch of both.
Well, man, it was definitely a fun race to watch. We've we've watched you guys all season. We're coming down to the end of the regular season. What's your plan for Talladega?
Floor it and win.
Well, that's a good plan to have. Be interesting to see where these points shake out after this race. See where everybody's at and see the strategies. But man, shout out to yours, P3.
Yep. Shout out to you guys putting on the broadcast, the whole admin team, everybody. Shout out to all the sponsors of the league, and yeah, shout out to everybody else.
Brother, we're going to send you on your way, and hopefully y'all can get something better working out in Talladega and get that win.
That's the plan.
Well, Tony, we survived it with less cautions than what I really thought we would. But, man, next week's going to be a wild one.
Yeah, Talladega, we're going to see a lot of different strategies. It's definitely going to make it interesting. Who's going to be pushing for that win? That they need that win to get in. We're going to see who's a little conservative, playing the points game. Definitely should make for an interesting race.
It's going to be interesting, too, to see if DVR, since Shanks, since Banks and Schaefer are locked in, if Newbra being where he's at on points, if they're going to kind of lean towards helping him get in there.
Yeah, I feel like he might still be able to point his way in. Looks like the points are being done right now. Let's see. They're completed. Looks like they are done. So let's take a peek at our current standings here. So we were kind of sitting, top 12, top 13. We're pretty much locked in. Isaac Wilson able to bump up to 12th. Joey Maines tied for 12th, gained 3 spots. Cedric up to 11th. Spencer lost 3 spots, but he's locked in and on a win. He's tied with Cody Riggs for 14th. Matt Webb pointed his way into the top 16 tonight with Michael Newbra missing the race. Newbra is 8 points out, so definitely still able to points his way in. Stephen Heinen 18th, 26 points out, so he's definitely going to need either people to wreck out or, he's going to pretty much need a win or grab as many stage points as he can and get a really solid finish. There's still a lot of people that are in this, could potentially point their way in, but there's also several that would definitely need a win to get in.
Well, we're going to find out next week who's going to come up over that regular season championship, and then the playoffs are going to start.
Yeah, definitely going to be an interesting race at Talladega, seeing who's going to be running what strategy. Like we said, there's a lot of guys here that need that win to get in. You know, we have one guy who's got a win but is in 29th, so that's going to bump that line back a little bit. So right now, assuming that Colt Curry makes participation requirements for that win to count, that's going to technically bump Matt Webb out. Well, he's 37 points out of being in position for a playoff spot. So if Colt Curry shows up and races next week, Matt Webb sitting in 16th will need a win. So definitely going to be interesting. I feel like we're a little more solidified on points wise who can make it and who can't, but there's still those variables. A winner who's not in the top 16, a person that does have a win but has to race to meet the participation requirements for his win to count for advancement to the playoffs. So still some variables out there, should make for an interesting race.
Tony, until next week, man. It's gonna be a wild one at Dega. It's Dega, baby. So you know how it's gonna play out. So on behalf of myself, Tony, Relentless Racing, Ancient World Gaming, Talesman. See y'all next week. Till then, stay safe and
Keep it spicy.
there you go. You ain't said it in a while. I'd give you a chance on it.